Okay. So first things, the entire syllabus is right here. This is the web address. So I'm going to get to that right now. cocc.edu/srule. Except I spelled my name wrong. It's a very tricky name. Rule. There we go. So here's everything. Here's everything for the course as far as any information you'd possibly need or want. Probably more than you'd need or want. I may have to go without the fisheye. We'll change that at the break. Morning.
Morning.
Have a seat anywhere.
I'll make 10 after shuttle.
It's all good. So we'll figure it out. This is why I don't take roll at 8:15 because it doesn't make any sense to. I know that, and some people are trying to find Grandview right now. It's like, as what a colleague said, the math department used to be in Pioneer, and we were told we were moving to Siberia in Grandview. All I can think of is it's amazing up here. The views are just killer. So, hence the name, I guess. So anyway, here's the main page. You got my phone number up there. You got my office number up there. Did they update everything? Yes, they did. New office, same email. I heard somebody talking this morning about the fax number being wrong. I don't know if anybody still uses fax machines. Even if you do, I wouldn't fax anything to me. I've got about a 1 in 3 chance of actually getting it. I'm fax challenged. So try to avoid that. If you need to send me a document, scan it and email it. I think it's probably the best way. Or take a picture with your phone and send it to me that way. That works beautifully too. That's getting better and better as time goes on. So yeah, try to avoid the fax. We'll jump from here down to here for just a sec. This is the office hours, the office hour listing. It's heavy on Monday and Wednesday, only because my Tuesdays and Thursdays are kind of insane. And Friday, I'll talk more about Friday as we get into the day-to-day. They're also not terribly convenient for you guys, I guess, because they're in the afternoon and you guys have this early class. Although, how many of you guys have a class right after this one? How many of you have 10:15? And do you have a break after that? No, you go right to the next class after that too. Wow, that's intense. Well, hopefully this will work for some of you guys if you can get in. Try not to come up before class at 8:15. I'll try to get here a little bit early. But try not to go upstairs. I want a really wicked tight schedule upstairs between getting in here, getting stuff dropped off, picking things up. And I'm going to have to talk to you while I'm running around. And I'm as ADD as they come, and I'm not good at that. I need to kind of sit and talk to you. So if I'm running around talking to you, trying to eat breakfast and put stuff away, I don't want to say something wrong to you. So try to stick it to office hours, or, which works for more students than office hours, seems to be just emailing back and forth. During the term, summer was different. Summer I was off contract. I was hit or miss. I mean, if anybody sent me an email over the summer, I'm sorry if it took me 2 weeks to get it back to you, but I wasn't around all that much. But during the term, I'm constantly checking it. So if you have a question and you can't get into office hours, shoot me an email right there, srule@cocc. I'll get right back to you that day, most likely, if not that day, that evening. And it's amazing what you can get accomplished via email mathematically. It doesn't seem like it works, but it works brilliantly. It works brilliantly. So if office hours don't work, and I know they don't work for everybody, those times will not work for some of you because of your classes, just shoot me a note. You can call too. The phone now has a red light on it, which is awesome, because I used to never check voicemail because I never knew there was voicemail on the phone. It had this really dark VM that was in the top right corner, and I never saw it. People would call me like 3 years later. Yeah, I called you back in 2007. Yeah, okay, that's awesome. So now there's a red light, which is great. But email works brilliantly. I'm just programmed to check that. Cool so far? That makes sense. So if the office hours work, that's great. Please come by and see me. If they don't work, shoot me an email, give me a call, and we'll get things figured out. And like I said, it's amazing how much we can get accomplished electronically. It's more of a stat class. I looked like a little nervous there when I said that earlier. That's okay. That is not math. It's kind of like how Portuguese is not Spanish. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, they're both Romance languages. They're both rooted in Latin, but there's definitely a different flair to Portuguese than Spanish, and statistics is like that. It's less mathy than math, but they still have that common root. So don't worry about that. I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be. So anyway, stat works brilliantly via email because quite a bit of it is writing and explaining and talking versus x squared and things like that. I mean, there is some x squared and x cubed stuff in here, but the vast majority is not. It's very much writing down, finding patterns, writing down expositions and things like that. So email does work nicely. Okay, so back up here. Here's where we are. You can ignore all the 243, 244 stuff and focus on this. Here's your CRN in case you ever need it. I think that's the right one. Yeah. Here's our times. There's our room. I like to stop about 45 minutes in and kick you out and make you walk around and get some air, go get some water, and then bring you back rather than below. Some people ask you, do you want to take a break in the middle or do you want to just stop 5 minutes early? And I've noticed there's a certain look you guys get after about 45 minutes. Call it the glaze. And it's just like you're done. You need to just get out of it. And this room already feels hot to me. I don't know about you guys, it already feels warm. So 45 minutes, and we have an illegal halogen lamp over there. Let's take a look at that. Yes, they recalled those back in the early 90s, I believe, because they used to catch curtains on fire. I am very proud to have one in our room. Yes, very nice. All right, good. So we'll just leave that over there, leave it off to make it no hotter than it already is, and kick you out of here at 45 and then bring you back in. So 8:15 to 10 here. Let's go through the course information. I want to spend the most time today talking about that link, because that's where almost everything. I'm not going to hand you a syllabus today. This is the syllabus. It's better for in a lot of ways. You can't lose it unless the website goes down, which hasn't happened in a couple years now. Happened like 2 springs ago. So let's click on that. It takes us out to, here we are. This is blah, 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 a little bit of text. The technical course title is An Introduction to Contemporary Mathematics, but if you looked at the course description, I don't know if any of you guys actually did when you signed up for the course, it's pretty open-ended. It says it contains this, this, and this, and then it's instructor's discretion about the rest of it. So the this, and this is linear, quadratic, and exponential modeling. That's the this, this, and this. And everything else I choose to make statistics-based or probability-based. So there's a little bit of algebra that's kind of mandated by the course description, and then everything else is as I see fit. And since you guys live in a world where we look at news online and we consume information and we're trying to decide if we should have that second hamburger at the barbecue or if our hearts are going to explode, you need to understand how to comprehend the data that's coming at you. And I think statistics does a much better job of that than like an Algebra 3 course. So anyway, that's why it's called that. How many of you guys, your eyes went right to this rectangle when I flipped over the page? A couple of you? A couple of you, yeah. Yeah, I did some studies. The reason why McDonald's uses red and yellow in their sign is because those are attention-getting colors. They grab your attention, they drag you right to it, and red didn't look right, yellow looked better. Don't look yellow. So that's the point. When you get to this page, I want you to look to that yellow rectangle, because that's where the information is. And of all the information on there, most of this you probably won't use past today, honestly. But this one up here you will use every day. So let's check that, explore that. And we're going to keep bumping back and forth from this page to the other ones as we go through today to make sure that you can get comfortable. So remember, this was the page that got us to the course descriptions. And then you clicked on course description after that. So I'll just find a pen that works too. There it is. So, course description. And then the most important one of the lot is the one that's called schedule. Of the lot of them. We'll go through each one of them today because I want to talk about all of them on this first day. But as far as what's going to be most useful to you guys as the course goes on, it's this one. Aha, reds and yellows, just like I promised. I use some blues too to mix it up a little bit. But if at any point today you have a question, just stick your hand up. If I'm turned around, just call Sean. I'm turned around. But just stop me. If anything doesn't make sense, let me know what doesn't make sense. Let's get it cleared up. Cool? And that doesn't go just for today. That goes for pretty much all term. Yeah? You guys all right? Yeah? HC. Bueno. Muy bueno. Very good. Exclamation point upside down. Very good. Very good. So, here we are. Here we are. It's a lot to look at. Those of you with motion sickness might want to close your eyes right now. This is the entire term. Yeah. So I see it backwards? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good, right? That's the entire term. Every due date for the entire term, your third exam is listed down there in finals week. I like this. I've messed around with other formats and students don't like it as much as this. If anybody has an idea as we go through the course of how to make this clearer, I'd love to hear it. I would. I've tried other students' ideas, put them in action, and then students are like, no, put it back the way it was, put it back to vomit-inducing red and yellow, because just having everything in front of them like this seems to be. I made it for a while where it was indexed, like a tab, like week 1, week 2, week 3, and you could click on week 4 and then it would show week 4. But then the complaint was that week 5 was hidden, and we wanted to see what was coming down the pike in week 5 at at the same time week 4 was up. So I'm leaving it like this for now. I'd love to hear other ideas. If you guys have other ideas, love to hear them. So if you think, keep that in the back of your mind. If you're going through the course, you're like, I could do that better. I'd love to hear it. I tried making it in a calendar format, but there's too much stuff for a calendar. There's too much stuff. So anyway, and you can ignore 75% of what's up here. That's the nice thing too. You guys are right here. This is your column. You can ignore that column, and that column, because this is the 243 and 244 columns. Just ignore those 3 altogether, and just focus on the first one. Here's just the day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here's the day that we're doing the stuff we're doing on that day. Cool so far? Makes sense? If it doesn't, let me know. Let me know. If you want to jump to a week, I put the week jump up there. I did keep that idea from the whole pagination idea, but you can jump to like week 9 or whatever you want to get to. I put the homework sheets up here. We'll talk about those briefly in a minute. But for the most part, I've got stuff segmented in blocks. Like here's week 1, starts with yellow, and then it ends down here, and then week 2 picks up. So you got week 1 here. I put the dates on there. Underneath week 1 in red is just administrative stuff. That's the place where I put like, this is the week I do midterm grades. I have to email midterm grades out. Or this is week 7, so this is the last chance you guys can drop the class without getting a W on your transcript. Or this is week 2. This is the last chance you can drop your class to get all your money back. Or this is week whatever. I mean, I try to put admin stuff on there. For example, I think the most important thing for this week is to make sure you guys know where the tutoring center is. Where's the tutoring center? That was not loud enough. Where's the tutoring center? Downstairs in the library. Very nice. Very nice. Downstairs in the library. Believe it or not, it's actually expanded. Check this out. So I put a link to it. Click on it. It's going to pop open. Here's the testing and tutoring website. Everybody see where I got that from? Let's close it down. Everybody see where that is? You can also just get on the website and search tutoring, and it pops right up. Okay, you got all kinds of tutoring in 4 different areas. There's your bend right there. Okay, and then let's see if they've already updated it. Kelly is amazing. On Friday, this wasn't updated. She did it over the weekend. She's a beast. We've got all these subjects for available for tutoring. So not just for 105, but all your subjects. But notice it's not just the library. Some of these subjects are tutored in other places. For example, lower level library, like you guys said, downstairs library, science building. Kind of makes sense. That's where Kevin Grove works, and he's the guy that does engineering. Science building, biology, again, makes sense. You've got, where else? Ponderosa Hall for GIS. Well, that makes sense because that's where the GIS is taught, and it's a very small program, so doesn't make sense to have them down in the library where they're not near their computer lab where they need to use for GIS. So you've got every possible subject you could want tutoring in available for tutoring, which is fantastic. I do want to mention, you've got math tutoring, and you've got stat tutoring. And you see how Kelly's broken it down by stat math 243 and stat math 244? You could most likely ask a 243 or 244 tutor for help in this class, and they'd be perfectly happy helping you, because there is a stat component to it. I think though, and let me see if I'm wrong by saying this, I think there's going to be more hours available to you from the math tutors. Am I right or am I wrong? I might be wrong. Math is Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., which is fantastic. 243 is almost the same. That's damn close, huh? Nothing on Friday though. There is Friday math tutoring.
Is it the same for like address?
I don't know. It's a damn good question. Let's go find out. Address. Well, it's not updated yet, so I can't answer that. That's what it looks like on Ben's page on Friday. So chances are, because it's a distance campus, Kelly's still trying to get communication with them and figure out who's there and when their availability is. So I don't know. Keep checking though. Keep checking though. And travel safe. Especially as the weather turns, yes. Let's see if Redmond and Prineville are in there yet. Redmond's in. There we go. And it looks like it's a little more limited in Redmond, yeah. 10 to 4, 10 to 7, 10 to 4, and 5 to 8. No statistics tutoring out there. The reason I question, you got to be careful asking a math tutor statistics questions, because some of them get upset. I remember having a student years ago, great student I had in 243, JT, he was awesome. And I used to always send my 243 students in for tutoring the term after I took my class. And finally, a kid in my office about week 5, he's like, dude, stop it. I'm like, what? He's like, stop sending your students to me. I'm like, dude, you kicked my class's ass. Why would? He's like, but I hated it. Oh, okay, sorry. So you gotta be careful sending stat students to math tutors. Sometimes they don't enjoy it too much. Stat tutor, you're pretty much safe. And 105, honestly, you're pretty much safe going anybody because it kind of has feet in both worlds. So as far as the Madras Primeville, I would say just keep checking back. Yeah. Oh, and there's no math out there yet. I guarantee that's going to change. Those of you in Primeville. All right. Close this down. So there's tutoring. We know where it is. The math tutoring is in the lower level library. It is definitely there. Cool so far? All right. Now let's do a quick overview of your column. Here is today. This is what we're doing today. So we're discussing the online information. That link takes you right to here, which is a little bit silly because in order to get here, you'd have to go there first. So it's kind of like a chicken egg kind of thing. So anyway, we're here. We'll talk about homework momentarily. We'll get back to that. We'll talk about the Stat of the Day blog, and that's the review I have planned in case we have time. And we'll see how the day progresses for that. Tomorrow you're off. Yay. Wednesday you have a quiz due. What? You son of a, we just got here. Don't worry, we'll come back to that. Thursday you're off, Friday you're off. Now if you'll notice on Wednesday, the only thing listed in there is a quiz due. Okay. If we go down to week 2, you'll notice next Monday is blank. And Wednesday there's a quiz due, but it's not linked. And if you go down to the following week, Wednesday, there's a blank on Monday, or week 3, excuse me. There's a blank on Monday, and there's some project thing mentioned down here in Wednesday. And it might be kind of weird. There's blanks in this schedule. There's lots of blanks as you go down. And as you go down, there's also lots of red sections. Can you see a correlation with why are things marked red? Why are things marked red? Because something's due that day, either a project or a quiz, or sometimes exams. Sometimes I have exams on those days too. So the red correlates to, in the schedule, something's due, whether it's a quiz, whether it's, and we're going to talk about all those things soon. Talk about projects, talk about quizzes, talk about exams, make sure you know what those things all are. Why are things blank? Are we just not doing anything? Week 3, Monday. Just everybody just stay home. It's 8:15. It's early. Just stay in bed. Make yourself a cup of coffee. Micah, help me out.
Because we haven't got there yet.
And more importantly, because it's me, what don't I know exactly?
What you're teaching that day.
That's exactly what we're going to be doing that day. I got a ballpark idea that in Monday of week 3, we're either going to be in the middle of or finishing up grade and linear regression and maybe in the quadratic regression, maybe. But I don't know that today, right now. So here's my options. I can fill this schedule with the topics that we're going to do and where I think they're going to be, and then constantly change it, which is annoying. Or, better, what? Right, fill them in as we go, which makes a lot more sense. The only day I know what's going to happen is this first day. I know on the first day, that's what we're doing. On Wednesday, we're going to start a topic called estimation. And because it's an idea I had while riding my bike around Pennsylvania in June, I have no idea how long it's going to take. That might be a one-day thing. That might be a one-day thing that carries into this Monday down here. I don't know. So rather than trying to guess and then fix, I'd rather leave it blank. And then the day after class, like when I'm sitting in office hours on Monday later, today, I'll update the page with what we did. And then you'll have a listing of it as soon as you get back that evening when you're looking at it. Does that everybody kind of make sense? How many of you have been given a syllabus on the first day of class where they've got every topic and every date? And what happens? One of 2 things can happen with that. Give me one of the things that can happen. We'll say it again.
You lose it.
Okay, one of 3 things that can happen. You can lose it. Please.
It changed.
They're hyper exact about, so like, all right, well, we haven't completely finished this topic yet, but we said that tomorrow we're doing this one, we gotta rush it.
That's totally true, and it makes me very sad to know that still goes on. But that's true. Well, we don't have time. We're now out of time to uncover these great questions you guys have. That's number 2 if you think it can happen. Or number 3.
You can be further along.
Exactly, it just changes. I mean, now we got to push everything back. We have to cut something off the end. I'd rather just kind of let it go and see how it progresses. I have ballpark ideas of where things are. But this way we can let the ballpark kind of govern the schedule versus the schedule govern the ballpark. Cool? Make sense so far? Good. So there'll be something on Wednesday. There'll be something in there. I just don't know exactly what yet. It'll start with estimation, and we'll see where it goes to from there. Yeah? Any questions you guys got so far? Please.
So is a quiz due in class or do we do?
We'll talk about that. Give me like 5-ish minutes, and we'll understand quizzes, we'll understand projects and exams, we'll understand the whole shebang. I just wanted to make sure right now we understood why there are blank holes in the schedule page. So, as long as everybody's happy with that. Cool so far? Bueno. All right, I'm going to bump back out of here just for a second. We're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that page and explain all the quizzes and everything. I did want to answer the question about the textbook real quick. This is the materials page. Chances are you'll never go back to this page again. But I want to hit it real quick today to make sure you understood why when you went to the bookstore there was no book for you. The textbook for the book is called Math and You. It's a completely online resource, open sourced, free for you guys. You don't have to pay a penny to own it, unless you want a printed copy. And you can print it, you can order it through their website right here. If you click on that, it takes you out to an order page, secure, it's all safe, like ordering something off Amazon. I think it's, I don't know how much it is. Let's find out. Hardcover. Oh my God, $100. Ron Larson, please. But he gives it away for free, so I can't write too much about it. The reason why I don't think you should buy it is we don't use the entire thing, number one. And number two, that I mentioned he gives it away for free. I did mention that, right? So you can buy a paperback for half of that, the hardback for $100. The loose leaf's not bad, it's punched. Or you get, interesting, he makes you download. Well, don't worry about that, because what I've done is I've actually downloaded the parts you need and put them up for you guys to have. So everything's free for you guys as far as your textbook. You don't need a book. Some of the stuff we have doesn't even have a book component, and the stuff that does I pulled out of his book with his blessing. I met the guy, he's a doll. So, cool so far? Please.
So this class doesn't use the Hawk software at all?
It does not. It does not. It has a little cheer. Sorry. I'm sorry if anybody didn't like Hawks. It's definitely a work in progress. Yeah, so everything there's a downside to that. Because everything is kind of old school as far as submissions, there is a bit of a lag in me getting stuff back to you, not quite as immediate feedback, but I'm fairly immediate as an Italian donor can be. So, cool. So here's where you go if you want to order it. I want to back out of here. I do want to show you what I'm talking about where I said I downloaded the stuff you need. So I'm going to back out of here again, and we'll come back to this. I'm going through this part a little quickly. But remember how it said Math 105 homework sheet up here? We're going to revisit this in a minute. If you click on this, you have the entire, these are the topics that I want to do in this course. We'll see if we get to them all. I'm not even sure if we will. I mean, this is pretty ambitious. The ones that are not hyperlinked yet, I haven't written yet. I hit them in class quite a bit, but I haven't hit like a specific concentrated topic on them yet. The ones that are hyperlinked are the ones we definitely do get to. Please.
Where'd you click on the previous page to get to this screen?
Oh, it's on the schedule. And we're going to come back to this, I promise. It's the Math 105 homework sheet up here. Yeah. And we're going to come back to it. That's why I started going kind of quick. We'll come back to that and spend more time in it. But do you see everywhere it says Larson text up there? So not every topic has a Larson text component. That's not even written yet. So that doesn't, this doesn't. But these guys do. And if you click on those, it pops you out to, after it loads, a PDF document that has the section of the text that corresponds to that topic. So right now,
Mine's already up.
mine's not.
What's
Yes.
taking so long?
I don't know.
So
here's, flop through here. This is the linear, I think this is the linear regression, yep, the linear patterns text. So all you've got here
Does
is,
he go to school with a kangaroo?
who's going to school with a kangaroo?
This guy's up there.
No, school with a kangaroo.
No, like, everyone's just too uncomfortable to mention it.
camel.
It's a llama, or an alpaca. Is it an alpaca or a llama? Is it an alpaca? How do you tell the difference? It's a llama. Well, it depends on how big that guy is. I mean, what if he's like 8 feet tall? That's like a dinosaur, alpaca. Arr. Yeah. So they're smaller, and they're the ones with the really good fur for sweaters and stuff. Or llama's good too.
I think it's alpaca.
Alpaca's
has
good.
the better wool. Llama tends to stink.
Why would anybody buy a llama?
They carry more.
Oh, they're beasts of burden.
Mhm.
And you can't load an alpaca with as much stuff, I guess.
Or you get an alpaca that fits on the ground and chews. Like, what do you?
Or I just get more chickens, because they're easier to corral.
Chicken.
So I don't know the answer to the kangaroo thing, but I do know that this is your entire linear regression topic in the textbook. And then what I've done down here at the end, there were some solutions somewhere down here. They are. There's solutions to the homework problems listed too. So that's what this section is right here. And then if you were to click on the next one down here, that's the quadratic modeling section, the exponential modeling. Remember how I mentioned before there were a couple mandatories I have to do in 105 and the rest of it's kind of my discretion? Those are the 3 mandatories right here. That's them. Everything else is just, this other modeling, we'll probably end up skipping this, honestly. I tried it a couple times and students are like, dude, what? I'm like, okay, we'll just not do that. So this is the mandatories. These are the parts that start looking more like statistics as we get down through the course. So the stuff in the beginning, I don't know where to put this. I'm really excited to see where that goes on Wednesday. Well, I have no idea at all. It all started with me and my son in our hot tub at the house and a bottle of chemicals. Not with my son in the tub, I took it out first, but you'll understand that when I get to it on Monday. I'm a pretty good parent. I have that on film too. So anyway, that's kind of that's the homework sheet. If you click, and look, we'll come back to this. We'll come back. I just want to let you know that's where the textbook lives. So you don't need to download the textbook. You can. If you click on the actual Math and You link, you can then enter a page number, and it'll like turn the pages online and open to the book, which is kind of slick. There are other resources on there. Feel free to explore them. I've noticed that when I give students too much to explore, they get overwhelmed. So I'm trying to slim it down to only what you need, and that's why I PDF'd out those sections and put them alongside the homework. Make sense? Please.
Is this link on Blackboard at all?
I don't use Blackboard. Thank you for asking that question. I don't use Blackboard. So I'm an educational socialist. I don't like locking anything educational behind a password. So everything is available to everyone. And this is great because I'll get emails from people from like France and Germany and Australia thanking me for the stuff that they're using. And that wouldn't happen if I used things like Blackboard. So you don't look for it in Blackboard. It might be there, but it'll never be populated with anything. Everything, you're looking at my Blackboard, if you will, right now. Is that fair? Now, there's also a downside to that. We don't get the slick, like, quizzing and things that Blackboard has. I'm working on that. It's on my 5-year plan. But everything's available anytime, anywhere without a password, which is kind of what I'm after. Cool? Fair? So textbook makes sense? Micah, go ahead.
Do you have links to like outside sources?
Occasionally I do. I try, if I can help it, I try not to. I try to download what I need and put them on the COCC network so if links change, they don't get corrupted or broken. But every once in a while I do. Why do you ask? Just out of curiosity.
Well, you mentioned in other classes you have YouTube videos.
Yes.
Then there's also things like the Khan Academy and stuff that is very good.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We'll come to that in about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, I do have all these videos are going to be on YouTube. I don't think of YouTube as an outside source because it's there now, and I can't imagine it ever going down. I mean, now that I say that, it's going to have a virus run rampant through it and eradicate the entire thing. But I try to keep to a minimum the outside links, so I try to keep them as current as I can. So, and we'll talk about Khan Academy as well. As far as the calculator goes, it is nice to have one. There are certain things you can't do without one in this course. I'm assuming you guys have a TI-83 or an 84 or something like that. Some of you might have an 89 or an 82 or something. I'll do a quick check on Wednesday or Monday of next week to see who's got what. There is an option if you don't have one, you can put an emulator on your PC. This doesn't work for Macs, although I think there might be one for Macs out there now. At any rate, I have one. It looks like we don't have a document camera, so I'm going to have to use that and my little overhead thing in here, which will work. So there are certain things you can't do without one, and there are certain times a calculator just makes calculations that much easier. Although the first part of the course is called estimation, we're going to try to not use our calculators too much. The idea is certain things like quadratic regression, exponential regression, you just can't do in your head. I mean, it's impossible to do in your head. So it's nice to have that technology around. So make sure you've got one by, I don't know, mid next week-ish, somewhere in there. If you don't, like I said, there are options. Either come see me, you can download and put the emulator on a PC, bring your laptop to class if you want. Yeah?
How much do they cost? Sorry.
It's a good question. Oh, don't buy it at the bookstore.
Shopco's like 80 something.
Shopco's 80.
84, I think it was 80 something.
Fred Meyer's 80 something. Check Craigslist. Check. Where else?
Walmart had them.
Walmart. If you can find a TI 83 still, please buy one. The 84s are the new ones, and I think they're phasing out the 83s, but they're essentially the same machine. So if you need to get one, if you need to purchase one, spend as little as possible on it.
I might have an 82 from like 7th grade. Is
That will work for most things. Certain things it'll hang on. So if you can find that, let's use it until it doesn't work and then figure something else out, but try to save yourself some money. I really feel bad making people buy these things because it's an antiquated technology. Unfortunately, you guys all have them from your previous class, especially 95, which I'm assuming most of you just came out of. So we're going to use them since you have them. But now that you have them, I feel bad not making you use them because you have them. Again, chicken and egg kind of thing. So, cool so far? Yeah. How many of you guys use the machine quite a bit in 95? Good. That's what I kind of figured. And we're gonna. And if you don't remember any of it, that's okay too, because I'm going to assume you've forgotten most of it, and we'll start back up from scratch in a lot of ways. I put another option for those with Android smartphones. Keeping with technology, over the summer that link is no longer valid because the guy that put that app up was sued by TI. He basically put the operating system on a TI-83 as a free app on a smartphone. It was genius. TI got wind of it and like, guess what? We're going to sue your ass. And he's like, kidding, so he pulled it down. So it's impossible to keep up with these things because they change so quickly. I know for a fact, like this one, Mike, a perfect case in point, I put that link in the web server for COCC. So I know that's never going to go away. But this, who knows? Who knows? Software capability, every once in a blue moon I have you guys use Excel. I know, I'm going to assume that you've never used it before. Some of you have, and that's good if you have. If you haven't, I make the assumption you never have, and we operate under that assumption and go from there. So don't be afraid if I mention Excel and you get like cold shivers. It's okay. It's okay. You'll learn how to use. You need to learn how to use Excel in this world. At least some kind of spreadsheet capability. So we'll get our feet wet in there a little bit. We'll do some stuff in Excel. And it won't be towards the end of the class. I'll do a lot of Excel stuff in class with you, but as far as what you're responsible for doing, won't be for a while. Well, so far, any questions you guys have right now? Yeah? All right. Let's pop out of here. Let's talk about how I collect points from you guys, because this goes back to the homework sheet question. Also, the quizzes and the projects when they're due. You guys asked really good questions about that. Let's talk about that now. This is texty, so you don't have to read the entire thing. I put it here because it's a syllabus and it's a legal document, but I wanted to make sure that I go through this with you. So quizzes, projects, and exams, there's something that's missing on there, and it's homework. I do assign homework. So let's pretend, this is completely fictitious because this is not going to happen. But let's say that today in class, on this schedule page, it says, we completed the lesson on estimation. Go home, do the homework for estimation, and bring your questions to class, next class. So I would expect you to bring your questions on the estimation homework Wednesday. Remember, this is completely fictitious. We're not going to do this today. This is fictitious. So what you would do, okay, so Sean said, I finished estimation homework. I have to click on the 105 homework sheet. And the first lesson up there is estimation. So I click on that, and that bumps me out to a PDF file. That is estimation homework. And you'll work your way through this. You'll work your way through this. Your reading skills will improve in this class, I promise you this. You won't do a whole lot of mathematics compared to your last algebra classes, but you'll do a hell of a lot more reading, and probably more writing than you've ever done in a math class before. Okay? And this is really an introduction. This is really an introduction. What you're going to start seeing down here, is you're going to see questions that are numbered E1, E2, E3. What these are questions that I've come across in my daily life that incur some idea of the mathematics and statistics that we cover in this class. And I say to myself, well, what the hell? That's kind of cool. If it comes across my life, it might come across your life too. Boom. Let's talk about it as a